Is Tyron the most important non-Dak player on the roster? And then also, will he play this week? Because everything that we've heard is, I don't know, everything we've heard leads me to believe that he will not play this week.
I think that Tyron is a very important piece, and I think over the last 4 seasons we've seen how important he is. And the fact that you don't have another tackle that can kind of fill that void, that's why he becomes more important. We talk about the depth of this team. You know, DeMarcus Lawrence goes out. Pass rush has been pretty interesting. Randy Gregory's been pretty good. Now, can Randy Gregory be better? Can DeMarcus Lawrence be better? And that combination really be effective? That's something that we're really hoping we see on the other side. Michael Gallup goes down. What happens? You had
people step up.
Multiple receivers that can come in. If Zeke was to have to step away, you feel pretty good that Tony Pollard is not that much of a drop-off. Even Ezekiel Elliott said that when he was on the Cowboys Hour on, by the way, Monday nights, the Cowboys Players Show, and then Wednesday nights is the Cowboys Hour. So I think that whenever you see the drop-off, and nobody expected Terrence Steele to be that much of a drop-off this week because he was so good at right tackle. Now, I'm not saying it's because the positions are so different, though they are. But, Mike, if you're the left tackle, usually you're going up against the best pass rusher on the team. I know they swap players all over the place, but that's typically the thing because you want to get on the quarterback's blind side.
Well, I think this is an easy question. The answer is yes. We saw it. They lost 30-0, and one of the main reasons was they couldn't block. Now, I know at times they did, but once you start getting to quarterbacks, they start making mistakes. And I know Dak was off early in the game, but you just have to wonder because all of a sudden he had pressure like a 2017 game. Was it that he was inaccurate as the game progressed because he was nervous about guys getting to him on a consistent basis pretty quickly when he would hit his last step in the pocket? Or was he just having a bad game overall? And it could have been a little bit of both. So I'd say Tyron is definitely the second most important player to this team.
So I was reading an interesting article, about this, and they broke down some of the statistical, I guess, the splits with and without Tyron on the field. Since 2019, Dak gets contacted 22% of the time when Smith is not on the field, and only 16% of the time when he is on the field.
That's huge.
So that's a big drop. But
massive.
This one kind of speaks to the pressure that gets on him and the decisions he makes because of that. With Tyron Smith on the field, Dak's touchdown to interception ratio is 3.67 to 1. With Tyron Smith off the field, it's 1.63 to 1.
That's a massive drop off.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's a massive drop off. It shows the time that Dak Prescott can have to create something. But again, I think it goes to show like you don't have a good backup left tackle. That's my feeling on this. Now, I also feel like on the right side this week specifically, you didn't have a good La'el Collins. I think you had a guy that was still trying to
he was gassed,
get his body into it. You got to get your mind. Like you have to be anticipating and thinking ahead of what the defensive lineman's going to be doing.
Okay.
And you have to be able to punch on those thoughts.
So even if he's not your second most, because did you say for sure he is? Because I'm saying yes, he is.
Personally, I think he is as well because the ESPN article presented it and said, is this an overreaction or not? And they said not an overreaction. And when I saw some of the numbers, I like it. You like it when the numbers meet up with how you feel, right? Yeah. Like sometimes in our crosstalks, we'll be like, well, this happened. And RJ's like, that's not what the numbers say. I like it when the numbers match what I feel, and they do in this instance.
Because I'm twitching again today. The twitch brings up a decent point, and I'm going to address it here. Swaggy Booties is talking about Rashawn Slater.
Sure.
And
somebody just asked that, yeah.
And I'm saying this. I think the right decision was made with Micah Parsons. I think Slater is awesome, doing a great job for the Chargers. How much concentration should there be in the draft in the first 2 rounds next year on an offensive tackle?
Absolutely.
Because La'el Collins, I don't know how much he cares.
And we've established in the past that the Cowboys seem to view, and Zach Martin kind of told us he seems to view him being at tackle as more of an emergency situation. So, like, and I know Mickey said, like, look, if you reach that emergency situation, make the switch. But it appears as though in the organization and Zach himself, they're not like super amped up to get that going. So, all right. So here are your options.
And how many years does Tyron have left?
Exactly. And if that's the case, then do you feel comfortable putting Steele back at right tackle and eventually moving Lyle Collins to left tackle? Do you have faith in any of these three components? I know for its different reasons, but do you believe that Lyle Collins can stay on the field for one reason? Do you believe that Tyron can stay on the field for another reason? And do you believe that Terrence Steele should stay on the field? So I think that's completely fair. To kind of echo your sentiments about Parsons is I think you can directly look at some of the defensive improvement. I know it goes Dan Quinn, but I think you can directly attribute some of that improvement to Micah Parsons being out there and being so versatile. So
yeah, his ability to, like Mike was saying yesterday, oh, you need me to cover a tight end out here? I can do that. You need me to be on a wide receiver and make a play? I can do that. I can get pressure on the quarterback. When I was talking about the squares of the field that he can make an impact, it's so much more than just being a defensive end. If I can move them all over the place, it changes everything. I will say this, though. I don't know what happened in the other three games, Kevin, but I saw this stat this morning, and I felt it was prevalent to the conversation. I don't use words like that very often. Is it the wrong word? Relevant.
Yeah.
Rashawn Slater has allowed one pressure or less in 5 of his 8 career games. He's a rookie. And he's a left tackle rookie.
Yeah.
And he's allowed one pressure or less in 5 games. Now, maybe in the other 3 games, he allowed 600, and we just don't know the answer to that.
But you're not inclined to think that, right?
No,
I feel like that was 2.
And that's what listen, we took it for granted for a long time that Tyron Smith was as good as he was. And we've been watching this decline happen over time. But I think it was kind of taken for granted. The left side's fine. You know, it's gonna be taken care of as long as that dude's over there. And we talked about going from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Love. You know, like that's what when you ask should they commit that time in the offseason in the draft to go ahead and do that, to find a left tackle that could be there for 10 years that could play at that kind of level, if he's available in the draft, you absolutely find it.